That's James's dinner because I was very tired. We just got back from a hike and he's having a big slice of, well, a pretty big slice with some strawberries. I'm having a littler slice. And I'm talking about the best of Agatha Christie Volume 3. So this includes Partners in Crime, The Secret Adversary.
Adversary.
Adversary, is that? Okay. Ordeal by Innocence and The Hollow.
Yeah.
I guess I'll get going on talking about these. I had never watched Partners in Crime before. Had you even heard of those stories?
So it's a bunch of stories?
Apparently, but it's just one on this.
So is that about Tommy and Tuppence?
Yeah.
There we go. So,
Okay, so
I
you
don't know about
haven't
under
heard
this
of
title, but yeah, she might have written 2 or 3, maybe even more, with them as the.
Okay.
Originally, I thought maybe before I knew about them that they were spies, but they're
Normal people who
well,
are
they,
spies.
no, I think they were detectives. Anyway, Ordeal by Innocence. I've read that in
I don't like that
Dutch
story.
and in English. The Hollow, I think in Dutch it's called something like the La. And I haven't read it in Dutch.
Well, The Hollow wasn't as bad as Ordeal by Innocence, and I don't know. I guess a lot of people like that story. I've seen it before, but I don't care for it. It's I just don't find it to be really believable or anything.
I don't remember what it is by the title.
Well, I could give away the whole story if you like.
Well, just start off with it.
Okay, so there's this family where the mother and father in the family, they're well off and they've adopted a bunch of children. So the children are all from different backgrounds and everything. And they have housekeepers and stuff like that. So it's not like they're taking care of all of these children on their own, right? Because they're well off. So anyway, the children are grown when we come into the story, and they all seem to have problems of one kind or another, right? And the mother ends up being murdered, and one of the sons is blamed for it.
Adopted son.
Yeah, they're all adopted. So one of the sons is blamed for it, and he's like, well, I didn't do it, so I don't have anything to worry about. But it turns out his alibi, didn't realize he needed to be an alibi. He hitchhiked, right? The guy,
Oh my God.
after he got in a fight with his mom and said, I'm going to kill you, or something like that,
yeah.
right? Because there's always these stories, this is how it goes, you know, somebody says, I'm going to kill you, and then whoever's waiting in the wings is like, oh, this is my opportunity then, you know, because everyone's going to think it was him. So, anyway. There's the ant. He's right there. He's right by your plate now. Do you see him?
Yeah.
There he is. There we go. Who likes ants at a picnic? Nobody. So, anyway. The guy who he'd hitchhiked from, whatever, the guy who was driving the car, he was a scientist, and he was off in Antarctica doing science stuff, studying some Arctic foxes and whatever. So anyway, he gets back a couple years later, and the son has already been offed for killing.
Like killed.
Yeah.
Capital punishment.
Yeah,
Okay.
for having murdered his mother. And the scientist is like, but I know he didn't do it because he was with me at that time, you know? And so then it just so happens that Miss Marple is visiting the woman who will be the new wife of this husband who's lost his wife 2 years ago, and they just find out. So she's over visiting, and the scientist comes over, and he's like, but he didn't do it. And so then you know that it's somebody in the house. So it's one of the family members, except for Miss Marple. I mean, she's new to the whole scene. You know it's not her. But for some reason, I'm going to give some stuff away with the story. The bride-to-be, she's a friend of Miss Marple. She's known her from, and she's so thrilled that Miss Marple could come visit, and you know, for the wedding and everything, right? And well, the bride-to-be gets killed, and so you're like, oh no, who's the murderer, right? But Miss Marple's still there. And that's what's really unbelievable about this story, I think, is why is she still there? I mean, her friend was the woman who got killed. Why is the family still letting her hang out in the house? You know, are they like, oh well, your train doesn't leave for 2 days, so yeah, just keep hanging out with us or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, there's more that's unbelievable.
There's all sorts of stuff. Like, how does Miss Marple be around all of these murders? Like Hercule Poirot, he's world famous.
Yeah.
So he's going to be brought in.
Yeah.
Now he still ends up
in
places like,
yeah.
How is it that he's
Yeah.
On the Orient Express when there's a murder that takes place?
Yeah.
How is he on a excursion on the Nile when a murder takes place?
Well, and that one bothers me too, because it's like, okay, so, and I'm giving away the story for that one a bit. I'm totally giving it away. So if you haven't seen it yet or read it or whatever, you probably want to do that before you continue on with this video. But you end up with, it's the couple that are responsible for the murder, and they have invited, like the one person in the couple has invited Hercule Poirot to be there. And so why did they invite him? You know, if you want to get away with murder, you definitely don't want to invite him to hang out with you while you're murdering people, right? It just makes sense. So that bothers me about that story. Why did they invite him? Are they that arrogant that they really thought, yeah, we're going to pull a fast one on Hercule Poirot, right?
No, some people are like that.
Maybe. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so now I've given away a couple stories for you. I'm really doing a bad job of reviewing, but you know what? I did a bad job
of people who are like
hiking today too.
No, it tends to be people who are chemically challenged.
Okay.
So I ran across this guy in a hospital, and he said, I saved my friend's life. And I'm going, well, this is going to be interesting. So they were in a bar. His friend got a little bit drunk. The cement head from the Edmonton Oilers was there. Dave Semenko. People were afraid that he was going to kill someone in NHL. Those were guys in their 20s and stuff like that. And guy was insulting Semenko.
Oh my gosh.
So the guy I was talking to talked Semenko down. He saved his friend's life, possibly. Saved him a good beating. Why would someone do that? You know, they do that all the time. They it tends to be in bars. You know, like someone runs into Muhammad Ali, they want to take him on. You know? So people are funny, almost suicidal or something like that. I don't know. They think they're really sharp, and I think it usually involves some sort of overuse of chemicals.
So we were just hiking, and I said that I'd review this after hiking because I didn't feel like doing it then. And we actually liked it. We liked the broccoli bites.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It might be semi-healthy.
Maybe. And I felt virtuous while we were eating it. Much better than when we eat chips and caramel corn. As much as those things are yummy. But I did have a few things that bothered me about the package. It's really too small to stick your hand in. It was hard to open.
It was amazing. We opened it in Waterloo, and there were some guys from Minnesota there. I was talking to them when I was trying to open the package up. One guy offered to open the package up for me.
Yeah. So those are just a couple problems that I had with it. But besides that, it's actually kind of good. Who would think that broccoli bites, they're like some kind of dried astronaut food? It was good. It was good.
And I don't think you have to worry about someone tampering with putting poison in it.
No. That product was very hard to open, so I definitely know it was sealed.
That was amazing. I think the guy thought I was weak, and I said, yeah, I've been on just finished Goat Lake Trail. Got a beaten up back, but I'm not that weak. It was nice. I would have looked really tired. Not as tired as when we finished Goat Lake Trail last year, because we'd done the eastern end of Avalon Ridge.
And it was a hotter day. Today was actually a perfect day for doing it. It was really nice. Beautiful day.
A little stressful, but we got hailed on, but without thunder and
lightning. So we were a little bit concerned about the weather. As if you've been following my blog post, I kept postponing this trip because there kept being a only 30% chance of rain, but that included thunder and lightning. So, I mean, you're pretty exposed up on Goat.
Yeah, well, we got some hail. That guy I was talking to in the parking lot, when I first got in there, I was talking to him when we left. He was a worker there. I said, we got hailed on. And I said to him, I was telling my wife that I could see ice up in the clouds, like this would be 4 hours early or 3.5 hours early. He said, I can remember you said it to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was about 8 o'clock, I was telling him. There was ice up there in the clouds. And, instability. I'm glad he remembered it. Because he knew then I wasn't making it up.
But it turned out to be a beautiful hike. I'm so glad we went.
Yeah, we basically just it was very small hail.
Yeah, very small.
And
little bit bigger than snow.
Little bit of rain. It was like a heavy sweat. And not that heavy a sweat, so a lot more comfortable sweating. And that pathway, usually I have a little trouble coming down slipping, but the rain kind of settled the dust, so it wasn't as slippery.
I still had a hard time coming down.
You had a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I had less than I usually do. I had occasional.
Boy, my throat is not good. Anyway, I had a great day. It was great. I mean, I did make a mistake. I'm going to have to look at my videos because I think I might have been calling Pearly Everlastings
Pussy toes?
Pussy toes the whole way along.
Oh, and you mentioned
because a woman asked me, what is this? And I said, it's pussy toes, white pussy toes. And she looked at it and she's like, it doesn't look like an... It wasn't. It was Pearly Everlasting. Because I was walking along the path further and I saw some right beside me and I'm like, yeah, that's a pussy toes.
It's good she was that way though. A lot of people just get buffalo.
Yep.
Some politician says something in some way and they go, oh yeah. Don Cherry says something about hockey.
I don't know the woman. She was from Swift Current, so I can't just phone her up and say, oh, you know, I had hiker's brain. And I totally got that wrong. whatever.
Focal.
You're right. It's not like life or death information or anything like that.
Well, I was saying, it's not as though you told her that local weed was the next best thing to kale.
Yeah, I don't think you'd buffalo too many people with that one, though.
I wouldn't know what local weed was until you told me. At least what it looked like.
Yeah, I'm definitely not recommending that anybody go out and forage for wild food that they have no idea what it is.
Like the mushroom thing, I never want to do myself. Because, what are the chances? It's probably pretty low, but it's just not worth it. You can buy mushrooms wherever. And you definitely don't want to go foraging in a national park or any sort of provincial park or a local nature preserve.
No.
We see the wildest and weirdest things in nature preserves. There's one where we saw a stag, running top speed towards a cliff. And we go, what is he doing? And then we saw this dog off leash.
Tearing after him, yeah.
Going as fast as a stag.
They're not allowed in the nature preserve, dogs. Not here in town.
Much less off leash.
Yeah. They're not allowed there at all. Oh, what do you do? Anyway.
You'll see cyclists.
Having said that, if I had the option, if somebody said, would you rather have this bag of broccoli bites or this bowl of strawberries and tiramisu cake?
Well, yeah. Well, strawberries are pretty good for you, right?
Yeah.
And tiramisu tastes as though it might be good for you. Very good for you. Very, very, very good.
But I never would have thought broccoli bites would be edible. So, whatever. It was good.
They were better than edible.
Yeah, they were. All right. Do you have anything to talk about, or are we done?
I'm too busy stalking my face here.
Okay.